Okay, we are rolling.
Honor podcast.
My God, he's talking now.
Honor podcast.
Podcast?
Honor podcast.
And they'll listen?
Connor podcast. Connor podcast. Connor podcast.
Indeed, Connor does podcast. I am Alfredo. You are listening to Cinema Forecast. With me, as always, is Connor.
It's me.
And you are listening to the movie podcast, where every month we are randomly assigned a category by the legally distinct movie roulette. And attached to that category are 4 films. Each week we go in depth to one of those movies and we talk about them in the context of the category. Category for this month is Aliens. The movie today is E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial, our second Steven Spielberg film and our second 1982 film.
That's right.
Look at that.
Yeah, like a lot of the movies lately, I don't really remember the first time I saw this. I think it was just one of those, movies that my family would turn on all the time growing up.
I don't remember the last time I saw this. I don't think I remember the first time I saw this. So yeah, it felt a lot of it felt relatively fresh. Like it had been like probably 20 plus years since I had seen it. So yeah, it was cool. I mean, I think maybe I mentioned it when we first brought it up, but like the thing I always think of is the ride at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, one of my favorite rides there. There was so much like wonder. I lived in Southern California for like a total of, like, I was born there, and then I moved back later on before I finally settled down in Washington State. So I like got to go to Disneyland like a fair amount. And my parents always worked during the summer, so we would do these like day camps that we would go to, and a lot of the trips were always going to, Disneyland or Six Flags Magic Mountain, Knott's Farm, all these, and a lot of other fun things as well. But I always remember the theme parks because that's a big thing that don't have so much of up here. Like it's there's like one basically.
Yeah, we just got the Six Flags.
But I think I was scared of it the first time I rode it, because I think I was scared of ET because he's a freaky little dude.
He is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I've done the ride, and I remember loving it, but I don't really remember it very well. Was it one of those ones where you're kind of like stationary, but you're like on a platform that's like moving around, and it has the screen showing you? And
You feel like you're flying around on a bike.
right, you're like escaping the feds,
Yes, you
basically.
you are with like the group of kids and
Right.
Elliot at the end, like getting away.
Fun.
Speaking of him, of ET, did you know that most of the full body puppetry was performed by a 2'10" tall stuntman?
No.
But there's a scene in the kitchen. Any of the scenes in the kitchen were done using a 12-year-old boy who was born without legs, but was an expert on walking on his hands.
That is so interesting and random seeming to me.
Yeah. Pretty random. Pretty random. So the like one sentence sort of summaries on IMDb, I think are great. So just right off the top, a troubled child summons the courage to help a friendly alien escape from Earth and return to his home planet. That's exactly what this movie's about.
It is, Alfredo.
Yeah, okay, I did also see a tagline that is very good. He is afraid. He is totally alone. He is 3 million light years from home, which is the only time, like the only place. It's outside of the movie that you get like
Yeah.
a distance.
Which doesn't seem very far. No, 3 million light years? Yeah, okay, that's pretty far, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking back to the day the Earth stood still, and
As was I.
I think that was 150 million miles, which is very different than light years.
Yes. Very, very different. Yes, very different. 3 million light years is insane.
Yeah.
That's really far.
Yeah, that's really far.
Really far.
Really, really far.
Yeah, we're big distance heads. I like that this movie has a purple font too. Sorry, let's talk about themes.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's got a cool purple font. Makes me think of Purple Rain. Makes me think of Prince.
Well, we were talking about what the logo colors would be for this category, and for some reason I was thinking black and purple. I don't know what about purple makes me think aliens, because you were thinking green, which is like green little guys, which is the more common one. Something
Yeah,
about purple is like mysterious to me, I
I
guess.
was thinking. I was also just thinking about the like alien poster and like the green text on
Yeah.
the black background.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, we did purple last month, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta mix it up. Yeah, so themes. We got 4 here for this month. Fear of the unknown, the hubris of man, wonder of the universe, and mankind as a collective. And I think we got a little bit of all of this in here. There's a little bit of fear of the unknown. I would say a lot of wonder. This movie's full of just like, childhood wonder, right? Looking at aliens and space and the unknown through the lens of someone with less biases, right? And then the hubris of man, definitely quite a bit of, I think, with the way the feds kind of try to handle the situation.
yeah, for sure. We got John Williams again. He's the composer for this one.
Oh yeah, and I think one of the best parts of this movie, in my opinion, just the way how much he's adding to all these scenes is like so much of the wonder and the emotions in this movie are like directly bouncing off his score.
Yeah, for sure. And I think coupled with that as well, we've got the cinematographer Alan Daviau. I am not super familiar with his with any of his work, but I think I did look into it a little bit. He did Empire of the Sun as well with friggin' Spielberg. The little boy Christian Bale movie. I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, me
though.
neither.
Yes, really good score. Also, very interesting choice to do a opening credits with like one vibe of music, and then when we switch to like the shot of the night sky, the vibe like with the score like changes up.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it as soon as it opened on the starry sky. I was thinking about, not to include last month's movies as I have been repeatedly, but we watched 2 Alien movies in that category. And is this the 5th Alien movie that starts with a starry night sky? I think they might all start with the stars.
I
Because Alien does, Day the Earth Stood Still does.
the way that okay the but like there's differences in the ways they're starting. Like Alien
Yeah.
has like these like celestial like bodies, like these planets like that are like sort of in the frame that like you're passing around, and then like with are you including Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah.
That one starts on the alien planet and
Yeah.
then goes to outer space. Yeah, I mean you're gonna have a space shot. Like you gotta have a space shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, it totally makes sense.
For
It's
the
just, like,
implications.
funny that it's like all of them have been that.
Yeah. Again, I would push back and say maybe there's like different application, like because I think what you're identifying is totally a thing. Like starting on a shot of the night sky, because I feel like ET does that for sure. I feel like what am I thinking of? Fuck. There's another alien movie.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, that I'm thinking of that I feel like starts like just like shot of the night sky, not like anything else, but just like the shot over the earth.
I think The Thing, because it starts and then it pans down to the earth, right? And then you see
Yeah.
the ship coming to it.
Yes. Yes. But out of all the alien movies we've done, we have a opening space sequence in like pretty much all of them.
Yeah, which makes total sense. I mean, we were saying on The Thing that you
I don't
probably
think it
could have
makes
gone
sense
away.
actually. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it.
You're right.
I don't know why are you showing me space? Like
We should write some angry letters.
yeah, I mean everybody knows aliens come from inside the earth, right? Like that's why
Yeah,
they're
the
called
lizard people.
That's why they're called intra-terrestrials.
Yeah, it jumps right into it. There's a movie about extraterrestrials. Here they are. Boom. ET
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah. Love that opening shot though too. I love the like the night sky, the like movement down towards like the trees, and then oh shit, spaceship.
Yeah.
I like this in this movie, right? Like this feels like I was saying in The Thing, I don't need to see the spaceship.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was saying with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I don't need to see like the opening part. But in this, it like is such a central aspect of it that he is trying to get back, right?
Yeah. Well, in this one, this might be the first. Well, I guess besides Klaatu and Day the Earth Stood Still, it's like the most empathetic alien. It's more through their perspective. You're not trying to it's not trying to scare you as much as like put you in the shoes of our little buddy here.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cool looking spaceship as well.
Yeah.
Like it feels very compared to Klaatu's very sleek. This one feels much more like utilitarian sort of look.
Yeah. I love how foggy and spooky the like aesthetic of this whole movie is. Like right from where seeing the ship, it's just the forest is full of fog. It's a windy, spooky night, and that kind of carries through the whole movie.
Yeah, what's interesting is like it feels spooky but not like menacing, like if that makes any sense. There's a safety in the like kind of spookiness that is being employed. I think the scarier spookiness is like the jangling keys,
Yeah,
right?
the feds.
Which is like ultimately interesting, very Spielberg that he's like a sympathetic character.
Yeah, well, that's such an interesting twist that I'd kind of forgotten. Because one thing I love for the first, like, I don't know, 2 acts of this movie or however long is the only adult's face we see is the mother, I think. I think every other adult is covered in shadow or it's the back of their head.
Or they literally just don't show,
show
like
their- yeah,
the
they
way
just
they
show their
frame the
feet,
science teacher, his head never is like
Yeah.
is visible when they're like pointing the camera towards him.
Yeah, which is such a cool choice. Like, it's actually like one of my favorite choices in the movie just because it's so unsettling. And yeah, it's because it's a movie about an extraterrestrial, but the real, like, mysterious horror is man, right? And I think that's such an interesting twist on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's saying all of that with like the visual like language it's choosing to employ here. I also love that it's like a jungle inside their spaceship.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that too. It's like this awesome ecosystem room. There's the fucking face with the like on a tree that's breathing. I had totally forgotten all that. That was really cool to see.
It's very dope. It's very dope. I also like their glowing red chests. I love the
Yeah.
like there's these things that were like I mean eventually he learns how to speak like somewhat. But it is cool like the sort of again visual tools that we're employing to sort of like communicate different things about his emotional state, you know? And
Totally.
also the proximity of his yeah, I think ultimately it is about the proximity of like when it starts glowing, you know, oh, they're coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that there's quite a few things that are just kind of given to you without any other explanation of what that means. What is this weird glow? How does it work? They're left is like as well as we get to know ET, it's still very mysterious and full of wonder.
Yeah. I love too that just like last week with Jonesy reacting to Brett being taken, a really cool reaction shot we get in this is like a rabbit being
Yeah.
fascinated with ET.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. That's before we even get to see ET. We also get an establishing shot of the city and the trucks
Yeah.
rolling in.
And
it's-
the music here, like there's this great shot of like ET just like wandering through the forest before he gets up to the city, and the music's so like full of wonder, a little spooky, and then yeah, as soon as the trucks pull up, it's just like this great ominous tone. I
Yeah,
love the
yeah.
theme for the feds in this. Every time it came on, I was like, ooh, that's,
much more menacing.
Yeah, that's spooky. I like it.
The keys immediately because I had forgotten about this character.
Yeah, me too.
They like I'm like, oh, that jangle is like high in the mix. Like that's very interesting. And
it's
and then we show the
Yeah.
like and we show him turning with the jangle of the keys. And I was like, why is this so like it felt a little weird at first. And then immediately it's like, oh, this is to link the jingling of the keys with him. And then for the rest of the movie, it's like established. So I like it. It was, I think, a little bit of an example of maybe some of the criticisms that are sometimes leveled at Spielberg, that he's a little bit like heavy-handed. He's a little like obvious. Again, it ultimately works, but there is this feeling of like perhaps like it could be done in a more subtle way. But again, overall, I love like that attaching the jangling of the keys and this character's name in the fucking in the credit, or at least in like IMDb and stuff, he's called Keys.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting you bring up the heavy-handedness because I definitely felt that throughout the movie, but more in some of the emotional ways and less in, um, like I said, I love the execution of the feds. I love just the keys being this sign of the ominous, like, overreaching government, and they have keys to all of our privacy. Yeah, there was a lot more themes and kind of political commentary I was not expecting on this watch that, I of course never picked up as a kid.
Yeah, again, I love it. I love it as a like as what it like symbolizes. I think the setup feels a little like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? But overall good. I also want to shout out this was written by Melissa Matheson.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
And
Or
I think
just that it was written by a woman in general.
and I think it's based on a novel or something
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah.
Huh.
I made a note here after I was like, okay, I see now why we're like showing his crotch like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I put a lot of crotch work for this actor, He's got to swing those keys around. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but they switch sides throughout the movie. Like he's wearing them on the
keys?
left, then the
No,
right, then the
no.
left. I mean, I wear my keys like that, but I always wear them on the same side. So when I saw him turn and it was on a different side at one point, I was like, is that a different guy? And then I was like, no, this is all the same guy.
Yeah.
He's very loosey-goosey with the way he's putting his keys on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Says a lot about this guy, I think.
Says a lot about this guy. He's wishy-washy. He's a flip-flopper, dude. He is fucking eating pancakes with John Kerry in the 2004 fucking election. Do you know the actor's name, by the way?
No.
The actor's name is Peter Coyote.
Oh, great
Yep.
name. I
Great
wish
name.
that was my name.
Yeah.
I think this podcast would be a lot more successful if it was Alfredo and Coyote.
So, yeah, for sure. I also love that, like, earlier, like, in the movie, they're like, oh, the Coyote's back. And I'm like, after I saw his name, I was like, whoa, dude, he's Peter Coyote, dude. Wild. But yeah, our little friend gets left behind.
Yeah, very sad.
I also forgot how he had gotten left behind. And I was like, okay, this all tracks. Like, logically, that he is like, that there are these people rolling in and they're like, we got to get out of here. We don't want these people to find us. And then gets left behind.
Yeah, when it's just cool because I'd totally forgotten that their whole goal was just to collect ecological life from other planets based on the context there. And I like that it's just shown to you, you don't really need to touch on that again. They give you a reason why they're here and that's it. And it's very like simple and peaceful and scientific.
I think, and then when the spaceship takes off, it seems like all the guys sort of see it. There's a really cool shot of them all standing in a line with their flashlights moving together.
Yeah.
Like from up in the sky down towards the ground. Just like thinking like, was someone left behind?
Yeah, the stuff they do with their flashlights and their silhouettes, it's so cool. Again, one of my favorite parts of this movie is just all of the handling of that.
And I don't think there's any dialogue at all in this part up until we get to the next scene where we introduce the family.
Yeah, and we see E.T. like heading towards the city, and just the way the city looks, as we said, just looks so cool, awesome.
Yeah, it's like a very present, like in the background. It's just like, I don't know what city. It reminds me sort of like a view of like Los Angeles from like high up, but they said they were in California. I don't know
they
where
pointed
exactly
on the
in
map,
California.
but I couldn't tell exactly. Northern California.
Well,
looked
I
like.
didn't know if he was pointing at the state that they were in,
or the city, sure.
or if he was pointing like specifically where he was, because it looked like Central California on the eastern side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see that the feds are also kind of on his trail too, because we see him walk down to the city, and then the flashlights kind of start going in that direction. So there's a cool little, the growing threat of the feds kind of pressing in on their location through the movie is a really nice slow tension burn.
Yeah, for sure. I think I knew just from like being alive and being around pop culture that there was a little bit of D&D in this, but I had
forgotten. Yeah, me too.
And he says you're out 10 mana points, and I was like, damn, what version of fucking D&D is this?
Yeah, well, I was trying to figure out if it was D&D or just like another tabletop game, because the boxes looked kind of strange. Like I was thinking maybe it's more of a sci-fi thing they're doing, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it sounded like some fantasy role playing.
Yeah. There's something about using a spell and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
But Elliot wants to play.
Yeah, I like I like Elliot. He's a little shrill throughout the movie, and I feel like this first line is a good example of that. Of him, being, I'm ready to play now, and it's like that's how you introduce your hero. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's very like he is very sort of like younger sibling, sort of like, but like a like very much like a stereotype of
mm,
like a younger sibling, right? Yeah, it's very interesting because like because none of them are likable. None of them. Like absolutely like at the beginning of this, I'm
that's a
like
good point.
what the fuck is up with all these little shits? Like
Yeah,
they're all like a little wild, you know?
yeah. The
Like
mom is trying her best, but she's also kind of distant.
well, okay, so one of the kids is smoking a cigarette while they're
Okay,
playing.
I was wondering about that. Was someone out because it was so smoky in there, and I was like, "Is this just a vibe thing?" I didn't notice.
No, there's a cigarette in an ashtray next to
The fuck?
the character's name is Tyler, who's actually played by C. Thomas Howell, who was in the movie Soul Man. Also, I think in what's the one with the kids? The Stay Golden Pony
Oh,
Boy.
Outsiders.
Outsiders. Yeah, I think he's in those movies. He does blackface in Soul Man.
Oof.
Have you heard of this movie?
No.
So he pretends to be black to get into college.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wild. And also like his mom, like their mom bends over and same guy, Tyler, like pretends like he's gonna touch her butt.
Yeah, which that felt like a very teenage thing to do. I could see one of my friends just like going a little too far and like, dude, what are you doing?
Wow.
Teenage boys are fucking wild. I don't know.
These boys seem especially wild.
Yeah. I mean, smoking a cigarette, that doesn't even make sense. Like, the mom's cool with that? What is happening there?
He's maybe he's 18. He got held back a bunch. Like I don't. It's like they see like when you look at the like Michael and his like three friends. Like there's the one guy who's like really short, and I'm like he seems a lot younger. Like Michael and the Tyler guys seem older than the other two, but whatever. You know, they're just fucking kids. Like right? That's
I guess not if they're smoking cigarettes and shit.
I think like I was also okay. So what happens is like he's smoking. This is going into it way too much. He's smoking a cigarette. Then they're like, Elliot, go get the pizza, right? And then we see Elliot going to get the pizza.
Yeah.
And then the mom is there when like we go back in when he's like terrified. But like, so I was like, oh, was she gone? And that's why he was smoking inside. And now she's back. So now he's not smoking anymore. I didn't understand what was going on there, but it was watching it at this point in time is like however many years later is like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. That's so weird. I didn't pick up on the cigarette, so I was just
43
thinking it
years
was
later.
atmospheric. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, gets the pizza. I love again just how foggy and spooky it is outside. So I was just thinking, did they just make it foggy and spooky inside too? But nope, cigarette, I guess.
No, it was cigarette smoke. The crescent moon, yeah, up in the sky.
Yeah.
You know that there's this beautiful wide, the flood of light coming from the shed,
Yep.
and it's very cool shot. Like he throws the ball into the shed,
Yeah.
and it gets thrown back out.
Spooky.
And I love the way he just immediately freaks out. And I of course noted because I've heard I can't remember who it is. There is someone in the movie media landscape, in perhaps the movie podcasting landscape, who talks about uneaten food in like movies and how like they're like constantly thinking about like, oh my god, that pizza, right? But yeah, I immediately was like, dude, you left the fucking pizza? Like, come on, man. Must be really freaked out.
Yeah. I mean, I would be.
I also really like the line with Mary asking, "How do you win this game anyway?" And the kid who's like DMing, he's like, "It's like life. You don't win at life."
I missed that. That's great.
And then the other kid goes, "Money helps."
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in, he's like, there's something out there. They're skeptical, but I like that the boys all grab knives and the mom's like, no, put the knives back. And then they all just kind of go out there like side by side and investigate. It's a good little scene.
Yeah, and they think that like there's a coyote that's back. Also, it just seems like there's a huge cornfield behind their house.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice that until like the scene after this when he starts looking through it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
how very stereotypical.
Yeah. But I do want to address Tyler does open the pizza and grab a slice, but the pizza is absolutely fucked.
Yeah, so did ET go through it? Is that what they're saying here? He ran back inside and then, or was it just dropping it that fucked
I
up
think he
pizza?
just dropped it because it's like stuck to the top.
Oh, so it flipped up. Okay, gotcha.
Yep, classic flip up situation.
Because I thought he kind of like put it down and then walked over. Maybe he like ran over it when he was running back.
I think he like drops it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we get the spooky cornfield, flashlight, footprints.
Yeah, no. What I like about it too is that like there's noise. There's something is making noise, and Harvey is sleeping. Harvey the dog,
Yeah.
and we see Harvey wake up, and then we slowly move the camera to Elliot, who is sitting wide awake,
Yeah.
obviously unable to sleep because he is so terrified.
Yeah, and what a brave little kid. I wouldn't be out here in the cornfield looking for something that threw a ball at
He's
me.
in his fucking socks. He's not wearing shoes.
Yeah, he's a madman.
Like there's a shot where they show his feet walking in this little cornfield, and he's just in his socks.
Yeah. A little kid thing to do. Appreciate it.
I would never do that as a kid. I would have put my shoes on. Man, if I'm gonna be running from something out there,
True.
wild behavior.
I like, the moment he encounters ET is just really funny. He's such a cute little guy, but also like so freaky. And his little scream, I love his noise, the noises ET makes throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun sounds for sure. I also love that he like purrs and shit at certain moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the big reveal, and we get several shots, like angles of Elliot freaking out when he sees it.
Yeah.
When he sees ET for the first time.
But he's not deterred. The next day, he
No.
goes looking. The classic Reese's Pieces.
So you say it like that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, how do you say it?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces, and I say
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
A lot of people say Reese's
Pieces.
Pieces. Okay, if I gave you the peanut butter cup, what would you call it?
Peanut butter cup?
No, with the brand before it.
Oh, yeah, probably more Reese's peanut butter cup. Yeah, something about the little guys is a Reese's. I don't know, man.
People. I always hear people saying Reese's Pieces, and I'm just like, is there something that I missed? Like, is it because my parents, them being not, English not being their first language and like not being attuned to American culture? But at this point, I'm not changing. I'm saying Reese's Pieces.
Hey,
What's
man,
so funny is
that's
that
fair
people
game.
are also. What's interesting is that it feels like you're modifying the Reese's to rhyme with the pieces.
Yeah.
But they already rhyme.
Yeah.
So you're doing pieces, Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just.
No, I know you don't. I just want to point out. I just want to point out because it's something that I think about a lot. And not just that, but we're back on product placement watch.
Well, I think this is a really famous one, if I recall.
Yeah, everybody knows about the Reese's Pieces.
Like, I think I watched the episode of this from Blank Check, and I think they had a whole little section they were talking about how this was like one of the first really big ones that kind of launched product placement as a as a profit goal for movies. Before it was just like, hey, yeah, if you get something in there, maybe strike a little I know Star Wars was really big on the whole like merchandise kind of side of it, but I think this is the first like, oh yeah, we should start just getting products in our movies.
Yeah.
Because like I think Reese's, if I recall, or sorry, they didn't pay to be in the movie very much. It was more just like, hey, could we have you in here? And they're like, yeah. And then their like profits shot up like insane amount after this movie came out, and so everyone was like, oh, we should start doing this all the time.
Yeah, there's also a lot of There's arguably more Coca-Cola in this movie than Reese's Pieces.
Interesting.
And they never say Reese's Pieces. They do say Coca-Cola. Like, do you want a Coke? Like, more than once, I think, in this movie.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. The American way. You drink your Coca-Cola, you eat your fucking Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. Hey, man, I did find myself being like, oh, I could go for a couple little pieces of that Reese's.
I do like, I'm a big fan of peanut butter and chocolate together.
Me too. So he runs into a Fed out here in the forest while he's searching. Again, you just see the back of him. It's just ominous, and I love that Elliot kind of senses something's off here. He doesn't know who this person is, but he can tell he doesn't want to be seen by them, and I like that intuition here.
Yes, this is also the first time I noted that he's throwing these little treats around like you would for, say, a cat or a dog. I just want to point something out here in this movie. This is a creature, a being, that is from a species that has developed interplanetary like travel. And from what we've learned from the tagline, like intergalactic, well, maybe not, but like intersystem travel, right?
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And this movie is doing this wild thing where we're treating ET somewhere between a pet
Uh-huh.
and a person? Question mark.
Yeah. Well, I very much just see that as Elliot's treating him as a pet, and ET is just using this house as protection, basically, until he can sort his shit out.
No, for sure. Like, yeah, easy read, sure. But they're like even with things that he says like about ET and stuff, it is like there's this weird like line that's
Well,
like
yeah,
being written.
I think he says stuff like he's mine and like I'm gonna take care of him and all that, and it's like this is a genius creature from outer space, like.
Yes, yes, yes.
This
But
is
again, we're right. We're like really playing with the idea of like, is it like animal or is it man? You know, is it like a human or is it like obviously it's not a human, but you know, with the way that we're gonna treat it. But
is it a person? Maybe
yeah, is it a person?
Yeah.
Right. Very just a very interesting and such a like it just felt very much like, oh, let's make a cute movie about an alien. Okay, how are we and then let's just make cute choices. Let's not like think of I think also we in this day and age are much more like conditioned to think about like representation and how we treat things, you know, how we talk about things. And maybe also I'm just that kind of person where I'm like thinking about like, okay, like, are you going to treat this guy like a fucking person or are you going to treat him like a fucking animal? Like, make up your fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm able to scoot it to the back of my head and watch the movie and, you know, accept it for what it is. Inconsistent.
Yeah, well, there's sometimes I wonder just like how smart is ET? There's a line from Mike later that I think is really funny. Mike being the brother, says something along the lines of like maybe he's just like a janitor or something. Like I can't remember the
Yeah.
exact words he uses, but like maybe he's just like blue collar. He's not that smart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And
we should treat janitors like pets is what I'm hearing.
yeah. No, but just like in terms of how smart is ET, there is like some back and forth where sometimes he does kind of just like act like a kid, and I don't know if that's because just like his people. I think the read is that his people are just like so innocent that they seem naive to us.
I think it's a blend of innocence and a completely unknown world. Like
Yeah.
right, like they don't have beer where he's from, you know, or maybe they do. And
He's just this is what he does at home.
Just a fucking alcoholic janitor who pays people to treat him like a dog. We can all relate to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so he sees the Fed, he runs away. The music's great here. I noticed and then you got ET watching him as he heads back home, and you can pick up here that ET infers that he was out here looking for him, and he seems to have good intentions, at least enough that he decides to collect all his candy for him and bring it back, which is very cute.
It is, yes. Speaking of cute, Drew Barrymore as Gertie. Wow, it's so wild how her face is still like
Oh my God.
so similar. Like some people are like faces change a lot from when they're like babies, but like it's like yeah, that's Drew Barrymore.
I had totally
Unmistakably
forgotten
so.
that was Drew Barrymore. That's wild.
You watched that whole movie and you didn't realize that was her?
No, just wasn't thinking about it. No.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. She's so young.
Yeah, she's super young. I mean, she's John Barrymore's daughter, you know, big like nepo baby fucking Hollywood star. Tragic fucking life.
Right.
You like she was like drinking and like doing drugs by the time she was like 12. I think she was saying like the first time she did coke she was like 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really
Yeah.
tragic. But I think she's doing much better now. She has her own show.
Oh, yeah. We get a nice family dinner. nobody believes Elliot. A lot of gaslighting here. I like that his mom's like, it's not that we don't believe you. It's just maybe it was in your imagination.
Yeah. And we get a line that I think people like has stuck with people for a very long time. Elliot calls his brother Michael penis breath.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I like
Part of the reason that this movie earns itself a PG rating, my friend.
That's so funny. I love the mom's reaction to that. She's like, Elliot, but she's like laughing. It almost felt like it was unscripted for her to be laughing, but I couldn't tell like if it was her supposed to be just like because that's such a funny thing to hear your kid say and it's in the script that way, or she just thought it was funny at the moment.
Yeah, we get a really we've been talking about uses of darkness in movies, and we get this scene. We get this part of this scene. Elliot brings up how his dad would believe him.
Yeah.
And Mary's like, "Why don't you call him?" But he's in Mexico with Sally, and that gets her very upset.
Yeah, I like this setup a lot because it's like again not just telling you what's going on. It's like it's very naturalistic dialogue that gives you all the context.
Yeah, but I mean, in this day and age, you see directed by Steven Spielberg, and you're like, probably gonna be like an absent father. But like, so she stands up from the table, and like sort of like walks into the shadows, and she does say, to Elliot, if you see it again, like call me and I'll figure out what to do it. Don't touch it. Basically, like sort of saying like, I think trying to win herself back into his good graces because like she was so hurt by what he has said, right? And yeah, she's in the shadow, and then she turns and walks into the light, and she says, "He hates Mexico."
Yeah.
I wrote a little silly, but I like it. And in retrospect, I'm gonna say not a little silly, just silly, but I still like it.
I think it's supposed to be. It's silly, right? Because she brings it up a couple times. It's kind of like, yeah, a little tongue in cheek of her drama, bringing some.
But like
comedic...
the camera work too is just like so like dramatic, and
yeah.
like the way she walks into it's like. He hates Mexico.
I like how defensive Mike is of her here. He's telling Elliot, "I'm gonna kill you because you hurt her feelings and all that."
You notice how they call her Mary throughout the movie?
I noticed. What's her name? Gertie.
Gertie and Michael both call her.
I noticed
Mary
when Gertie did at one point. I was like, "What the hell? That's weird."
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really strange. I also like that Mike is trying to come up for solutions with what Elliot saw, and he's like, maybe it was an alligator from the sewer or a deformed kid. Yeah, and there's maybe what the arc is kind of setting up here. There's a line from Mike, like if we were doing the hero's journey on this, Mike says, "Grow up and think how other people feel for a change." And this whole movie is Elliot kind of being forced to feel for
psychically linked to the extra-terrestrial.
So his character arc is literally him like having to feel for another being and take care of them to that extent.
Yeah, it is very interesting as well that it is like not like it's set up here and that's it. That's like boom. Like it doesn't really it doesn't feel like it comes up like a ton more. Like, showing him as being like selfish or as, incapable of thinking about how other people feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he's pretty much just all about protecting E.T. for the whole movie.
It does feel like a theme-stated sort of moment.
Yeah, totally.
And I love, there's this awesome, like, wonder shot of fucking Elliot looking out the window and the camera, like, slowly pulling back.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Yeah, a lot of great camera work. Elliot's sleeping outside again. Brave kid.
The shot too, I love like it's the wide and you see like a light coming from the like lawn chair and like a little figure in it, and then we see a medium shot of him and he is like just like laying there like holding the flashlight asleep.
Yeah, and maybe one of the most iconic scenes from this movie, or at least it's one of the things that just like forever sticks in my head, is just like E.T. like slowly walking out of the shack one step at a time.
He's just a silhouette though.
Yeah, it's such a creepy, cool shot of him. All like, there's just like this, and I love that Elliot's like too scared to scream. All he can do is whisper, and he's just like, frozen in fear as this cute little guy slowly walks up to him to drop Reese's Pieces on his blanket.
Yeah, and then he like uses the Reese's Pieces to like slowly gonna follow him up the stairs, and we're just seeing like the hand reaching for it,
Yeah.
and not really seeing him straight on, and like we're seeing his hands interacting with things as he gets into the room, but like not really getting like full on like shot of him until we start with the like sort of when they start doing the mirroring thing, right? It's very funny. Feels very like, yeah. I mean, when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like they're doing this like mirror thing, and then as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, dude, that's them like syncing
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing like the fusion dance.
Yeah, it's so interesting because yeah, ET's very tired. I mean, he hasn't really had a chance to rest. He's just been kind of on the run, it seems like, as far as we've been able to see. And so he's so sleepy, and you see Elliot just immediately getting like this is that moment, like you said, syncing up, and now Elliot is like feeling what ET is feeling and just has to sit down and sleep. I love that we get Keys guy searching here.
And he finds the Reese's Pieces.
He finds the candy, and then we hear him pick. He
we
picks
hear
it up,
him munching out of frame. Yeah,
and then he just starts crunching on it.
fucking wild.
It's a wild
behavior, dude.
choice. Yeah.
Imagine it's just like, whoa, fucking rabbit shit. Elliot is gonna stay home. He's sick.
Yeah.
Pretending to be sick.
I love the
so
trick.
he can hang out with his new friend.
The thermometer on the lamp is a very great little trick here. Love it. His brother pulling out the car from the driveway is fucking hilarious.
My God, he like scrapes it too. I also love how it's a setup for later for him to be like, I've only driven backwards before.
Yeah, he just does every single thing wrong. It's really funny.
Yeah, he pulls all the way out past he pulls out so wildly, like that. Like with such like with not a care in the world. And then he pulls out too far, and then he like looks out, and he's like, "Oh!" And then he pulls
He
back
like
up.
ruins the lawn, and yeah.
Yeah, because she tells him like, "Don't pull out of the driveway. Like, do not pull into the street."
Yeah.
So he must be like 16.
Yeah. We get Elliot speaking to E.T. Me, human boy Elliot, trying to explain his name. A whole sequence of him kind of showing off all his toys and stuff.
Yeah, and he shows him Coca-Cola.
Yeah, Boba Fett. He shows him Pez.
He's got all his Star Wars toys.
Fish.
Felt bad for the fish.
Yeah, Peanut. He has like a peanut piggy bank. He shows him the toy car. And E.T. tries to eat the car. And I like when so Elliot decides to go get food because he can tell E.T.'s hungry, and he also says, "Well, I'm hungry," and I'm like, "Oh, is that because E.T.'s hungry? Or
Yeah.
Are you hungry, or what's going on here?" And I find that relationship. There's something about it that I'm like, is this parasitic? Like, this is kind of fucking weird. That in terms of free will, like I don't know how much control E.T. has on it, but it's like this whole bond that he kind of forces on Elliot is like a little like unsettling to me.
It is weird. It is weird for sure.
Because he like almost kills Elliot basically.
It's so interesting to think about like how old is E.T.? Like what is his like age compared to like a human, right? Elliot says, "Stay." Again, riding this whole weird like pet person line.
Yeah. And I love, him opening the door and the dog trying to come in and E.T.'s reaction to it. He's like,
yeah, I was like, when I was first watching it, I was like, oh shit, like he's making so much noise upstairs that he scared him downstairs. And then I realized, no, it's like they're like linked, right?
Yeah.
But we do, and fucking Elliot just drops a bunch of because he was doing the thing that is so silly where he's grabbing like all of the shit he wants from the fridge, like all in his arms.
Yeah.
And he's like turning around and then he drops it all. But he does eventually come back with 2 Coca-Colas and some sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
I do like the line too where he says to him, because like E.T.'s kind of like cowering in fear. He says, "Too much excitement." It feels very much like a kid acting like how they've seen their parent or like another adult act before. It was cute.
Yeah, and I love E.T.'s whole like hiding in the cushion or like all the like stuffed animals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a cute bit. Yeah, and his brother comes home from football practice, it looks like.
Yeah, and he says only health shit when he looks in the fridge.
Yeah, I like this whole
so,
sequence.
You know what he does? He grabs a Coke.
Wow, yeah, that is a lot of Coke, damn.
That's 4 Coca-Colas.
Man, you're making me want a Coke right now. Maybe this podcast is turning into product placement.
I don't drink soda. Sorry, Coca-Cola.
I like that he's talking about the high score on asteroids. I don't know, just like talking about arcades and stuff in the 80s just makes me nostalgic for, an era I was never alive for.
It's also very much like dude, I have news, man. Dude, fuck what you're telling. Like, you've been here sick. I'm about to tell you about my boy. Like, he almost got the high score. Dude.
I wish I got the
fucking,
score down. But
this is like, oh, dude, this needs to be on the fucking news, dude.
Yeah. And Elliot makes him swear not to tell anyone.
Yes, and I love how he says you have to swear the most excellent promise. He also says, "I have absolute power. Say it." What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, like again, some fun shorthand of they like inside language in a relationship that we
Yeah.
are not aware of is really good writing, I think, because you're just like, oh yeah, there is an established relationship here. It's not
Because
like
Michael says it to Mary later.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to swear the most excellent promise.
yeah, and
then
I love stuff like
Michael
that.
does the Yoda voice.
Yeah.
And it's so like I love how you can see that it's 5 years since the first movie came out, and like how infectious it was.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like how it was already like so ingrained in
Right.
our culture.
Well, we also have the Spielberg,
Yeah, the
George
Spielberg
Lucas,
George Lucas connection, absolutely.
because we do see Yoda again later, which is a funny scene.
This is a great scene. It's very funny. Also, just the fact that they like are like Yoda and ET, right? Like, there's some there, right?
Yeah, and I wonder if there is, right? Like, I don't know. In the design of it, it was like, yeah, well, people like Yoda. Or wait, was Empire out yet? Actually, maybe Empire wasn't even out yet. No, Yoda was around.
Empire
of
was
course,
definitely out.
Yeah.
He has the Boba Fett toy.
Was that 1980? I don't know.
It's 1977, 1980, and I think 1983.
Okay,
like they came out every 3 years.
That sounds about right. So yeah, then the sister comes in. She starts screaming. E.T. starts screaming. Mike starts screaming, and then Mom comes home.
Yeah, there's also a line here. Is he a boy or a girl? And Elliot says he's a boy. He's like super sure of this.
Yeah. I thought this was really interesting too, because I'm like, is there like some big dong we're not seeing here? Or?
There is a part where you kind of see his like weird chubby underside, like of the puppet.
You just gotta peel the flaps back.
I don't know, dude. Like, I like my ET from like the shoulders, well, from the heart up, basically.
Belly button up, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is kind
I don't want to know what's going on.
But I was definitely thinking, like, did you see ET's penis? Like, that's not okay. He's a child.
Hey man, I mean, he sees his dog's stuff,
ET is not a fucking animal, dude.
Hey man, bring it up with Spielberg, I guess.
You're wild, dude. You're so wild.
I mean, what do you want? You want him to be in a diaper or something? Like,
no, I just don't want him to be like. I want him to be like, is he a boy or a girl? He's a boy. How do you know? I can just tell. Oh, you know what?
Psychic link.
There you go.
Yeah. I wrote down around here, Elliot writing, "I'm keeping him," because that's where it really stood out to me. Of like, yeah, he really is just like treating him like some pet, but he's a kid, so like I get it.
Yeah, for sure. I do like also the way that one of the design elements of ET is that his like neck extends.
Yeah,
I love that. Like, the way
that's one of the creepiest things about him.
I like.
Cool.
I don't really think it's that creepy.
I think it's creepy, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's creepy. I love the way it conveys like curiosity. Just like how he like, ooh, I'm interested.
Yeah, I guess it's one of the most alien features about him. Like everything else, he's like kind of like a stuffed animal almost. He's so cute. And then you get this moment of, well, that and his pulsing temples. I like that as well. That's very unsettling. But yeah, the extending neck is very like I think that's what makes everyone start screaming. Because it's just like, what the fuck is this thing? I like that to get Gertie to swear that she won't tell anyone. They threaten to hurt her doll. They threaten her with something else first. I think they try to lie to her. And then she's like, "You're not fooling me," which is a cute moment. But
yeah, I mean, they tell her like, "Don't tell mom. Only kids can see."
Oh,
ET.
that's right. Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, right." But then threatening to hurt her doll, that seals the deal.
Yeah. She says, I think she says, "Give me a break."
Oh yeah.
Which was an ad lib line from her.
Oh really?
Yeah.
She
Also,
nails it.
like later on, where she looks down at his. Looks down and says, "I don't like his feet." She also ad-libbed that.
Oh, really?
And she was actually referring to there's like these wires coming out of the puppet that only she could see.
Ah.
And it's very funny that then so she's saying that, reacting to something actually like that's not supposed to be in the scene, but it stays in the scene because it's good, you know. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Born star, and you can see why she got so big. You know, she's bringing these top tier moments to history already.
Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna segue into an episode about Never Been Kissed. Have you seen Never Been Kissed?
No.
Do you know the premise of Never Been Kissed?
No.
Okay, she's a journalist who's gonna write a story about something happening in a high school. So she poses as a high school student, and she was like a big nerd, and she like didn't get, I can't remember. It's like didn't go to prom or whatever.
Classic.
And then I think that like she starts to like a teacher and her start to like develop a relationship. And the teacher's like, no, this is not okay. And then like later on, she's like, no, it's okay. I'm an adult.
That's is this Drew Barrymore or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why
I was
brought it
drawing
up.
the connection.
Yeah. She's the star of Never Been Kissed.
Gotcha. We see the feds closing in on the neighborhood here, which again just like this tightening ring, slow tension build I like a lot.
Yeah, I think at this point they're like, it starts with them looking around the landing site and like starting to like zero in on where he might have gone.
Yeah, like it starts with the forest, and then in the beginning you see like they're following him towards the city, and now it's not the city anymore; it's the neighborhood. So it's a very cool setup. I don't know how they followed him to the neighborhood. Was it the Reese's Pieces? Is that the clue they got? Because I think that's the last thing we see is him eating it. So there must have been some of the trail left or something.
Yeah, I didn't have a note on that really. No. The way they ultimately find them is later on, where there's the van
Well,
going
I got
around.
that. I just mean how they closed in on the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just the Reese's Pieces. I'm not
I think
sure.
that's the only hint we get. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like this part a lot where they're showing each other where they're from. He's like, here is where we are on Earth.
Yeah.
Where are you from? And
he's just pointing out the window.
Yeah, which is
There's
great.
also the part where she says, I don't like his feet. Also, Gertie says some other really funny shit. She says, is he a pig? He sure eats like one.
Yeah. And is this where he says home, or they're just saying home to him? I think this is before he starts talking, right? Still, I think. But
He
they're
makes the balls spin and float in the air.
yeah, which is awesome. He has telekinesis powers, which is super cool. There's an interesting shot here I didn't quite understand, where Elliot seems to sense something, or is it just him? I wasn't sure if he was sensing the feds or if it was just his wonder that like he.
You can hear the jangling keys
Mm.
in this scene. You can hear them. You don't see them, but it does feel like, yeah, it almost feels like they're sensing that this threat is looming, closing in.
Which would mean that E.T. can sense them somehow, and Elliot's sensing them through him, which is cool. Again, it's like a lot of kind of open-ended stuff on what are the extent of E.T.'s powers.
Yeah, and the great thing about him not being able to communicate thoroughly is that there's no way to explain all of these things that are happening.
Yeah.
And they kind of leaves them up to your discretion.
And he never really bothers trying to explain anything either.
Nope.
Even when he starts being able to speak, he's just like, I'm going to go home now, all right?
Elliot,
is it cool if I go home?
Elliot also is not really curious about how it's
Yeah.
working at all.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, cool, we're homies now.
Yeah, and there is this like kind of interesting aspect where Mike kind of picks up on the link between them, and he's unsettled by it, but like he kind of accepts it throughout the movie. And there's kind of like a lot of time that passes that we don't see exactly all the interactions and everything, so we don't know everything that's transpired too. We see E.T. also like makes the flowers bloom.
Setting up another like sort of visual thing that we're going to track throughout the movie that is like reflects the health of E.T. himself.
Yeah, which is another mysterious part, is we don't really understand why he starts dying. I guess maybe it's just the air here isn't quite right or something like that, or maybe he's not getting the right nutrients he needs, or maybe he needs to be with his people. Like
That's what I figured. Someone who can make a psychic link
Yeah.
with like another creature is going to be someone who probably, or a type of creature that needs to be in like its community, right? Like
Yeah, which is very interesting and kind of beautiful.
It is. I mean, it's true. I mean, without community, we all like, we may not die physically, but the death of the soul, like without anyone around you to share life with,
Totally. I like that. Yeah, because I guess it is his people coming back that brings him back to life. Nothing else does, so it wouldn't be the air or any other. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then again, writing this whole line, how do you explain school to higher intelligence? Because he say, did you tell him that you're going to school? And he says to him, and that's what Elliot says to Michael, right? And I thought that was a really funny line, you know, because it's like, I mean, they could have schools, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but I love that he calls them higher intelligence at this point.
yeah,
you
and
know?
I think this is where we get the line from Mike. I didn't write what it was exactly of him saying, well, how do you know he's higher intelligence? Maybe he's like, just some random low class worker or something. Um, yeah, we get Elliot getting bullied here a little bit again.
Well, this is really interesting because we see Michael's friends.
Yeah.
Michael has been in on like shitting on his little brother.
Yeah.
This time though, Michael knows that like his brother is right, and like we see some good kid acting in this. Like you
Yeah.
know, we see Michael sort of like being sort of like hesitant and doesn't really like. You can see he's uncomfortable with the way they're teasing Elliot about like the goblin at the bus stop.
I think Mike might be. Does he go by Michael throughout?
Michael, yeah, I mean, I think there's one point where Elliot calls him, says, Mike, you gotta save him or something like that. But for most of the movie, everyone calls him Michael.
Gotcha. I think Michael might be my favorite character because of some of the things I was talking, like how protective he is of his mother. Yeah, he's kind of a shithead, but also you see how heroic and like willing to go out of his way for his family he is, and I feel like he has a lot of good beats like that.
Michael is the character with perhaps the most like
Range.
there's sort of these like paths, these choices that he can make, and it really like he there's a lot of opportunity for him to like show nuance in this character.
Yeah.
And I think it's really well executed. I think one of my favorite characters as well. Although I gotta give it up for Harvey. Harvey's my favorite for sure.
Yeah. Harvey rocks. I love the paper fight they're having on the bus. I always see shit like this in movies, and I'm like, this would have never happened ever on any of the school buses I was on, because like the bus drivers were always a hard ass because they had to be, because you'd end up with kids walking all over you if you didn't.
Yeah, for sure. We also have like the girl who says hi to Elliot, who we see later on is like sort of like staring
Yeah.
longingly at him. She seems to have like a crush on him or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And
I
they
was-
kiss. They kiss later on.
I was kind of expecting her to play a bigger part, but
Nope.
she's just that one little role. Yeah.
No, just a fun, wild part. I did have a note when they're like teasing him and them like bickering. That I think is like really well written because like it's hard to watch. Like the way that they tease him, it like really like sent me like back to like school, and I really felt like this is a little bit too real. Like I'm getting a little bit too like I can feel myself becoming emotionally activated like watching this, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we get this iconic scene where Mary thinks she hears something. She walks into like I was trying to understand the like geography of the house, and then when I finally realized that Gertie and Elliot have like a long closet that connects, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now.
Oh, I didn't actually make that connection. That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but we have this cool shot of E.T. like blending in with all the other like stuffed animals, but just like sitting there with his eyes open. It's fucking great.
Yeah, that connects a lot of dots for me, because I was wondering later when his mom is reading to E.T. Why Elliot was also in the closet. Like, was he already there before they started reading? But no, okay, so he just entered through from his room. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
This is a whole intercut sequence of Elliot, and like this is where we really like establishing like this link is like serious.
This is one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's definitely like the fun and games, you know, a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like fun in games, but also I think it does a good job of illustrating some of the larger themes of the story, which is kind of the man making you do shit you shouldn't do, overreaching their authority, perhaps. The way again the teacher is set up in this scene to be kind of this mysterious figure, like you never see his face.
He doesn't like reprimand Elliot, which is almost like worse. Like he just flips his page over.
Yeah, when
Like,
he
for
sees
his
the drawing
yeah.
here, yeah, I like great drawing from Elliot of
Yeah.
ET, very like
Well,
accurate.
hey, you know, Henry Thomas is left-handed.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, which that's the name of the actor who played Elliot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was looking him up a little bit. He was showed up in Gangs of New York, which is kind of interesting.
I love that movie.
I have not seen the full thing, just bits and pieces.
I love that movie, even though we got some questionable Irish accents. I love that movie.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Dude, oh my God. Charlie's Angels, dude. I see the connections now, dude. Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz. The next reference we make has to be to a Lucy Liu
I remember
movie.
liking that first one, and I think the second one was pretty good too.
I was talking to someone about how like I get confused between Mission Impossible 2 and I don't know if it's Charlie's Angels 1 or Charlie's Angels 2. And my friend, I was expecting him to be like, "Oh, that's weird," but he was like, "No, that totally tracks. That makes sense." It's like, "Thank you for seeing me."
Yeah, I don't. I've only seen like Mission Impossible 5, I think, or something. So I actually know very little about that franchise. Yeah, this whole sequence though, so good. The talk of dissecting the frog, E.T. raiding the fridge. He doesn't like potato salad. I love that he just like sticks his tongue into it and just throws it. This is one of those moments where I'm like, this seems like childish behavior for an extraterrestrial to be like he should be able to figure out deductively that like, okay, the humans like things in a certain order here, and I'm trying to be subtle. And then he just starts throwing shit all over the ground, like just doesn't give a fuck.
I gotta say, you know, I work with a lot of people who don't know how to put things back where they found them.
But like, is that how it is on their planet? You think they don't like shit and they just throw it on the ground?
Humans do it all the time. People throwing shit everywhere. I gotta pick it up. No, it is wild. It is wild. And another product placement we get Coors.
Yep.
Coors Banquet. That's what he's sipping on. I love how he's like,
he drinks one and then he drinks another.
I love that he's like, I don't like potato salad, but I fucking love beer.
Yeah, he's into beer really quickly. It's so funny. Yeah, big burp. You see Elliot reacting in class. You know, some funny acting here from him. I like
he does some fun face work. Yeah,
the goofy smile he gives the girl is pretty good.
I just did it.
Yeah, it was very good. Audience was spot on.
Okay, the way that they're dissecting frogs in class. What they do is they have live frogs. Of course, you bring a live frog, you drop a little cotton ball with chloroform into the jar, and you close it, and you just slowly watch them die. And the teacher's saying stuff like, "You don't have to watch if you don't like. They're going to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch if you don't want to." And I mean, we dissected. I can't remember. It wasn't a frog. It was something in class, but it was already dead.
Yeah.
The fact that they're making the kids
kill the watch them die.
Well, they are covering it, like, because he's like, close the jar real fast. That was wild.
Yeah, and I wonder. I mean, I could see that being something they did back in the day. Yeah, it was very like surprising to see for me, and but I love that theme of just like, here's the man making you kill all these little innocent creatures, and you know, pushing back against that and all that.
Listeners, if you went to school during the 1980s in this country we call the United States of America, please let us know. Did you ever have to watch or take part in the killing of a frog?
Yeah, I'd love to know. I like that E.T. doesn't like Tom and Jerry. Is that crazy?
It freaks him out.
I think Tom gets set on fire or something. And he's like, ah!
Have you heard this before? People say you're either a Tom or a Jerry. Have you heard that before?
No.
What do you feel more like, a Tom or a Jerry?
Oh, well, I mean, I love cats, but I mean, Jerry's definitely the more innocent one in that relationship. I don't know if I want to choose, to be honest.
I feel like sometimes he kind of instigates some shit.
Most of the time, it's like when Jerry has a little buddy over and they'll start shit with Tom. But yeah, you're right. Jerry does start shit with
Jerry's
Tom.
a little bit of like an instigator.
Yeah, and the teacher's saying they won't feel anything, they won't be hurt, justifying the violence, man, forcing these kids to participate in it. You have E.T. reading the comic.
It's Buck Rogers.
Oh, I love that. And he uses it later because he notices that they have like a satellite set up in here, and he's like, "That's what I need."
Yeah, he sees that it has there's like a help signal, and he's like figuring out like, "Oh, I need to send out a transmission so that I can get saved."
It's kind of weird that a comic is what makes him have that revelation.
I mean, you know how this shit works. Yeah, whatever. It's fun for like the visual aspect of it, but it doesn't like super duper track in my head. Love all the releasing of the frogs. There's a great shot of the girl with the two braids, just like completely like there's all these frogs around her, and it feels very much like they're shooting this. And they're like, oh, let's get like a fun shot to show the chaos, and all the kids are running around, and she's just like there, frozen, holding two frogs. And then the culmination of the scene where Elliot stands on some kid's back
Yeah.
to kiss the girl.
Yeah.
This is so
To copy
wild.
the moment
Yeah,
in the TV scene, which
that was really good.
is
Very
also
cute.
just like so strange how this works here. Like E.T. is like seeing this happen, and his feelings are so controlled by it that it controls Elliot's actions. Like that's fucking wild, dude.
I don't know how much it is controlling Elliot's actions or the intoxication plus the suggestion of what's happening on the TV.
Yeah.
And I mean, we already saw her kind of like looking at him. Maybe he also kind of likes her. I didn't take it as like full on like he's being like
he's
controlled. More so it's like
influenced.
influenced
Yeah,
by what
for sure.
ET is watching.
I also love you have the teacher in the background when all the frogs are going crazy. Like, I can handle this. I can handle this. Just an absolute chaos. Yeah, and a big heroic moment for Elliot. I love, saves all the frogs, kisses the girl, gets dragged away, and there's the shot of the girl's feet. You know, the classic like turning the foot because she's like blushing, kind of, or whatever that represents. Enamored, perhaps.
Yeah, Mary gets. I love Mary. Like, so, Elliot said to Gertie, that only kids can see ET, and in this scene, it really feels like it, cause like Mary just walks in, literally walking around him, like they're walking around each other.
She just thinks
and
it's
she's just like
her
not
daughter.
noticing. Yeah.
Really funny.
And this is where we have the school calling her. Like,
yeah, and she opens the fridge door and knocks E.T. over, and Gertie's like, I think you killed him.
Yeah, very funny. Well, she even says it's a man from the moon.
Yeah, and Mary finds the empty beer cans, and she's like, what? And then on the phone, it's like, your son was intoxicated, and she's like, what?
Well, it's really funny the way that she like first kind of like looks at the beer, doesn't really seem to register.
Yeah.
And then you hear her go intoxicated, and then she like picks it up again and looks at it, and she's like, and then like the dot sort of like connects. She's like, man.
But she's still like, are you sure you have the right mic?
Yeah.
Or the right Elliot?
Yeah. My boy was chugging friggin' Coors before school.
I mean, what do you expect, lady? You got all these kids smoking cigarettes in your house, and
yeah. This is a rough time for Mary, dude.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for her.
She's going through it, and this is where E.T. starts talking. He's like behind the TV, and I think the first thing he says is "B," and then "good."
Yeah, Gert also teaches him the word for phone.
Yeah,
because he keeps pointing at the phone, and she goes, "Phone."
Yeah. And then they come home.
And Elliot's hungover, dude. You can tell he's just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, and the sister has dressed E.T. up.
He looks great. E.T. looks great.
Yeah, again, kind of like what you're talking about, the dehumanization, treating him as like a doll.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's great.
But yeah, I mean, it's a little girl.
It's
very
very funny.
cute, yeah.
I mean, he seems to be like he like has enough. I think he could have been. He had to sit kind of still to get all.
I mean,
that
we
shot,
never
you know?
see him say no to anything. He's very acquiescing.
Yeah, he is for sure. Yeah, this movie could learn a thing or two about consent and asking for consent.
It's almost like they're just such peaceful, loving people that they don't even have any like ability to be confrontational.
Yeah,
which is really sweet.
And I do love Gert is dressed up like a cowgirl, and she is and I love her being like, I taught him how to talk.
Yep. And then this is when we get the whole
E.T. phone home.
E.T. phone home. And pretty soon after that.
Yeah, it's like this culmination of this whole like, damn, now we can communicate.
Yeah.
And then boom, escalation of danger. We have the van rolling around, listening in.
I love this. Them just like tuning in on all the different people. And again, it's like, this is so fucking illegal in this time, right? Like you can't just listen in on people's private conversations. And so it does feel like some commentary here of just like I'm not sure exactly what was happening in politics at this time, but I do think there's like a statement being made here of like, be careful, the government's gonna like, start dipping its toes in all the aspects of your life.
He personally screened this movie, Steven Spielberg did, for Nancy Reagan, I think.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
Really interesting. Wow.
Yeah, very wild. And it's like, so what Michael and Elliot are doing in the garages, they're trying to get stuff for the machine, the transmitter, right? and they do pick up some stuff about the. It seems very like, if you're the person in the van, you're like, okay, I think we're like onto something here.
Yeah.
And then like transitions. This is also where Michael says ET doesn't look so good, and Elliot is upset. And he says, "We're good."
He
And he's
says
like,
we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. He's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? That's weird.
Yeah, well, he comments that this isn't the first time he says something
Yeah.
along like, what is this "we're fine" thing? Like,
Yeah.
you keep saying "we."
Then they find one of their dad's old shirts,
Yeah.
Old Spice, Sea Breeze, and they're like talking about the good times with dad, going to the movies, having popcorn fights.
Damn it, Dad.
Classic popcorn fights.
Yeah.
In the IMDb, there's a section that says director trademarks, and it's like and it says like absent father.
Oh. Then we get the mom reading to Gertie.
Yeah, reading Peter Pan.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah, for sure.
And then E.T. and Elliot are just kind of like hanging out, listening, watching. I just love how curious E.T. is. He's just like,
There's another element of a theme stated here where it is like she's reading the line, "Do you believe in fairies? If you believe, clap your hands," right? And it is so much of this movie is about like leaving yourself open to like these experiences, like, you know, to the wonder of the world.
yeah, the
And
wonder
I
of the
thought-
universe. One
And
of
I
our
thought that
themes.
was I thought that was fun, like
Yeah.
a good way of sort of showing it with like, you know, do you believe in fairies? You know, do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in like the goodwill of all living creatures across the universe?
Totally. And then pretty soon after here, we get Elliot cutting his finger on the blade that they're using for, like, the saw blade they're using to make his transmitter.
Oh my god, yeah, that was fucking wild.
And then E.T. heals it
Yeah, he's magical.
with his big glowing finger.
He is really magical, yes. And this actually, the thing that I'm talking about with the fairies happens before he happens after he cuts himself too.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really good sort of like, you know,
do you
like,
believe in magic?
yeah,
and here is
exactly, and,
magic.
like,
Yeah, good call.
also like, dude, E.T. is fucking magical. Like, you know, like wild.
yeah,
Like, I think like this is almost more of a fantasy story than it is like a science fiction story in some ways, or it is like sort of more on that line, right? Because yeah, just like, and I love again, like it's very easily understood why we don't know any of these things because the level of communication is so rudimentary. But dude, he makes things float, and he has like a psychic link with this kid.
yeah.
And he fucking healed him, dude. That's fucking
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
fucking magic.
I think there is, like, you know, a sci-fi read on how the healing works, right?
Of course.
Where it's like if you're so in tune with your body and other people's bodies that you can psychically link with them, then perhaps you can just like tell the body to heal.
Right, absolutely. No. And I see that. I do. But like it is presented
In a magical,
magically.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
my point.
Yeah, the wonder of the universe theme for sure, where it's just, yeah, it's, you know, being told through a child's perspective is the core of this story, right? The wonder in that, and the innocence in that, and, you know, the empathy in that.
That's the core of this story, and also not showing the bottom of ET. Just his feet.
Yeah.
Just his feet.
Yeah. The Fed van is now, like, so again, like, we started in the forest, then closing in on the city, then closing in on the neighborhood. Now it's closed in on the house.
Yeah.
And then we have the van just waiting outside. Good stuff.
ET's putting together his machine.
Yeah, the
Michael's-
flowers are dying.
Yeah, Michael's worried that the house is gonna blow, like that he's gonna blow up the house. He says like the breathing is all raspy, and yeah, when we hear the way that he's like breathing, and he doesn't seem to be doing so well, and yeah, the flowers have wilted a little bit, reflecting the degradation of ET's health. But again, there's like a spectrum that they go through, and so we're
Yeah.
like sort of at like -1 or whatever you want to call it, you know?
Yeah. And
Michael, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say it's Halloween.
It's Halloween, and Michael wants to be a terrorist. He wants to go as a terrorist, and all his friends are going as a terrorist. And his mom is like, "You are not going as a terrorist."
Yeah, that's wild. What in culture at that time was like, I guess, what was Desert Storm? This is around the time where we're getting like really involved in the Middle East and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, there have been terrorist acts, like, there's terrorists. and
Yeah, but
stuff.
there was a big shift in American focus on like Middle Eastern terrorists.
Yeah, this is not around Desert Storm. This is the early 80s.
Oh yeah, Desert Storm's the 90s, is that right?
Yeah, the early 90s. But I mean, even in like the 70s and stuff, I mean, like you have the Carlos the Jackal, like, him doing the shit that he did. I mean, there's people fucking. I mean, there's some historical precedents for some terrorists. But yeah, I think around we're having. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in Iran around this time as well.
Yeah. I'm very curious to look more into. I don't know much about like all of the politic inner workings of the 80s.
I can tell you there was definitely a lot of fucking domestic terrorism happening in Peru during that time.
Wasn't there a big like economic recession sometime in the 80s around this time?
Trickle down economics, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. They turned it all around.
They fixed everything. I think this is technically is this man, I would have to work backwards in a way that I don't feel like doing. But is this Carter or is it already Reagan?
It might already be Reagan. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's Reagan though. I do think it's Reagan.
Yeah, I love when they're taking. So they're all dressed up. E.T. is a ghost. They have Gertie waiting somewhere else as a ghost so that she can swap out with E.T., which is a good plan. And then I love that you have Mike with the what is it, an axe or like a butcher's knife through his head or something.
Yeah, he's like a zombie or something.
In E.T.
He's like a zombie terrorist, really, is what he is. If you like look at his outfit, it's like he kind of like shifted.
Yeah, and E.T. is trying to heal his head, and again, it's just like some of the naivety of E.T. It's like you can't tell the difference between real violence and a costume. Like sometimes it's just surprising how dumb E.T. is.
Yeah, and it's also just like very convenient for doing funny.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's
funny
cute.
blocking with them trying to take the picture. Also, like I didn't catch that Elliot was a hunchback. Like,
yeah, she says that later. I'm like, hunchback.
Well, so he's wearing a backpack with all the shit in it, and he puts like a cape over it.
Oh.
But then he's got this weird face paint. Why would a hunchback have that face paint?
I thought he was a zombie or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no fucking idea. But
that was weird.
Yeah, I heard her say that, and then I went back to look at the part where they take the picture, and I was like, oh yeah, which is also clever, right? Like a way to hide, like to incorporate a backpack so you can bring more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of little clever things like that.
She's so excited about their costumes. She loves the way they look. I really love that because she squeals, and every time somebody squealed so far, it's been out of terror.
Yeah.
But I love there's this turn where she's squealing in excitement. Like, she loves it. She thinks they look so great.
Yeah, it's
and
very
then the
sweet.
flash of the fucking picture makes E.T. fall over. Very funny.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm wondering here, like, how much would her mom actually believe that this is her daughter under this? And it's like,
no shot.
Well, but on the other hand, it's like, how likely are you to believe that there's not your daughter under there? Like, like there's kind of this willingness to believe in something that is a little off just because what the alternative is just so absurd and bizarre that you would never suspect it.
I will also say this. The eye holes are like this far apart.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But then we have this really cool, because they got to be home an hour after sunset, no later.
Yeah.
And they're like sort of walking through the neighborhood. We got all these costumes, and E.T. like kind of filled with wonder watching. And we have this really awesome POV shot where you have the camera through the two eye holes, but the eye holes are like very close together.
Yeah.
And just like maybe with like the consistency of the shot that I was talking about, and like the day the earth stood still, that was just something that immediately I was like, my immersion is ruined.
Yeah, and there's a couple of times from this point on where we start just like getting a lot of sunset shots. Like it's this evening, and then like again at the end, that it seems like the sunset. I don't know if they just decided like it looked cool or if this is thematic in some way. I'm not exactly sure like what all the sunset stuff is supposed to mean, other than it just looks really great.
I think it's like sort of like, well, we've been having a really good time. Things are about to get dark.
Yeah.
Like not just visually, but thematically, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. And like a lot, it's not just any kind of sunset. They're like very red sunsets. It's very like, maybe that's the ominous side of it, right? Like blood will be spilled kind of thing.
Yeah. They go out and they like go to like the bike and everything. They've got it set up. And Michael is like, all right, remember, meet us like no later than an hour after sunset. Yeah. And Elliot's riding his bike, and the way the fucking music swells.
Yeah, it's so
when
good.
He starts riding, when the bike starts flying.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh my god, dude. Talk about wonder, dude.
Yeah.
Like just the like visual language, like the preferred way to get around as a child, a bicycle.
Yeah.
flying, right?
Yeah, and I like
And
that.
him sitting in the crate in front. It's so fucking good.
So iconic. And I like that the kids are always pedaling still when they're flying. Like they don't need to, but it adds so much. Like it looks so visually good versus if they
it feels
weren't.
very natural as
Yeah.
well for the kid. Like it's almost a way of physically showing, and I don't think this is the intention, but like that it's powered by their belief.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to participate for it to work. Like if you're just gonna sit,
Maybe it is intentional.
if you're
yeah.
gonna sit by and sort of just like not actively participate in this wonder, then like go fuck yourself, kid.
Yeah.
Keep pedaling.
Yeah, yeah, they should have had one of them just stop pedaling and just
And fall
drop,
out of the
yeah, like a
fucking
rock.
sky,
Yeah. Jimmy, no.
You have this beautiful shot of his face, and then again, be home an hour
Before sunset.
after sunset.
After, yeah.
But the moon is already out.
Yeah.
And we get the fucking like Amblin shot, right?
Yeah.
Of him like riding across the moon. I started crying, dude. Like I
Wow.
was so like moved by like the visuals of it. Like this is such a beautiful shot. So
Yeah.
much meaning as well. Like, and 43 years later, just like full of like this representation of like how cinema can open your mind up to the
Yeah.
possibilities of life. Watching these things, it's so easy to be like, I mean, people are, like when the novel first came out, people were like, the kids aren't reading poetry anymore. And then when comic books come out, kids aren't reading novels anymore. Like movies, kids are spending all day at the Nickelodeon. And it's like, no, dude, this shit, like good art is like good and is meaningful and
Yeah.
like fucking.
It opens your mind,
It's
transports
inspiring,
you.
you
Yeah.
know? And that scene, that shot.
I mean,
that singular
probably the
shot.
most iconic scene in the movie, right? Like flying across the moon.
I would say
It might even be the cover, right?
I would say potentially the most iconic Spielberg shot.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Yeah, it's good shit.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he makes it the logo for his fucking production company
Right.
afterwards.
Totally. E.T. sets up the device, and it's so. I love how weird it is. Like it's using a fork to turn the blade, which is like typing out on I forget what the little thing that E.T. was using to type on. But you know, some little
Like a
kid's
little toy, yeah.
Yeah. But just like very fun, weird setup here.
It looks very functional,
yeah.
like to me.
Yeah.
I also like that they're using the umbrella again. They brought it back.
Yeah.
It's cute. There's a little like cutaway scene to Mary, and have to ask yourself, right? Like, why are we being shown this? I think it's her like sort of waiting for the kids to come home.
Yeah.
But she's like trying to blow out these candles, and she can't blow them out. And then she tries to smother one, but it doesn't
They're
work
trick candles,
several
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's trick candles. I think it's kind of showing. There's this read for me where it's like she feels so like she has ineffective,
Yeah.
like she has no power, like
Yeah, it's a good read.
And
Yeah, I was wondering
it-
about that too, because it's a very, very quick, short scene.
like, and I think it's to also set up later on where she's like, all right, where the fuck are these kids? Like,
Yeah.
and then she like leaves the
Yeah,
house.
well, like right after that. Yeah, so yeah, they show that scene, and then it jumps back to them, and I think that's where Elliot's like, we have to go, it's getting late, but E.T. is committed.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we have the mom leaving, and again her like saying as she's pulling out, he hates Mexico. And then, but we see the feds were waiting for her to leave, and
Yeah,
they
and they
start
all
searching the house. Yeah, which is always, I always see this in TV and shows and stuff. I'm like, she could just be going to the neighbors for like 5 minutes, and you're doing like a full-on investigation, like where you're just gonna be like, oh, hey, lady, if she comes home early, or like,
Kill her.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, and again, just silhouettes and jangles.
I love it. I love it so much.
The machine seems to be working. It's sending a signal out.
E.T. phones home. That's what I write
E.T.
here.
does phone home. It is weird how it's like tied to like a tree branch that's like pulling something with the wind, and that's making okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to understand it, right? Yeah.
It's also weird that the way they use the blade that he cuts himself on, it's cool because it's like a record player, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like what it feels like, where he's sort of like using the like needles in like the thing to produce like a message or a recording that's being sent out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, based on the frequency of the wind or something like that.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck
I don't know.
knows?
I don't know, but it's kind of cool.
Got the Geiger counter throughout the house.
Yeah.
I love the cable leading under the door. It's so
Yeah.
ominous.
Yeah, just like such a I think Spielberg is so good at this, like where there's nothing really significant about that shot other than the vibe and the tone it gives you, right? Like the feeling of whatever machine they're using behind this door is like, again, this stripping of your privacy and in your invasion. Now they're in his room doing unknown things, right?
They're closing in on him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. We kept talking about closing in. It was the van outside. Now it's them in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
E.T.'s still waiting. Elliot says they gotta go back. And he's like, what if you just stayed here? We could grow up together. But obviously, he's like coughing as he's saying it.
Yeah.
Not looking so hot again. We're talking about degradation of E.T.'s health. And he points at his heart and he says, ouch. Because it hurts to be away from his family, from his friends, you know?
Like physically, like he's dying.
No, he's literally dying. Like, yeah. It's not just like, oh, my
feelings are hurt.
I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
Oh my God, E.T. dies of a broken heart. He does have cardiac, or he goes into cardiac arrest. And then Elliot wakes up in the woods.
Yeah.
This is also like, it's a great show of like how dedicated he is. But as like a kid, I'm just like, man, I would be so worried about my parents, and not like necessarily them reprimanding me, but like literally like being like they're probably worried about where I am, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
but Elliot's like, fuck my mom, dude. I don't care.
Yeah.
She couldn't keep dad around anyway.
Hey, I get it. You know, this is again,
it's showing his
trying
dedication.
To get home. Yeah. I mean, I could understand, even if you are someone who's trying to be like a good kid and stuff, being the exception of like, hey man, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to save an alien. And there is this nice moment, where he, like, yes, E.T. says that he's, his heart's broken and he's dying. But he also, it's kind of solidifying. Like, you get the sense that E.T. is very sweet and he does care about them and stuff. But, like, he makes it very clear to Elliot here that he also cares about him. He's, like, giving him a very, like, tender, like, finger, long sausage finger to the face and all that.
Long sausage finger to the face. Classic. Also, when he wakes up, E.T. isn't there.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is E.T. right now?
Yeah, it's weird.
What's he? I probably went down to the bar, grab a couple Coors.
Oh, this is boring. I need to get drunk.
He fucking drank a couple beers and he fucking hustled some fools in some pool, made a couple bucks, you know.
Woke up in a riverbed.
I was talking to my friends last night. I was like, I just watched E.T. and they're like, oh yeah, what about that part, where he finds him in the creek? And I was like, yeah, it feels very like you and your friend got super drunk and then like you just find your buddy with one shoe on, like, and like
totally.
His shirt off, just like fucking like, out in the middle of a field or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so Mary's talking to the cops.
And this is where we first have her say, me and my husband are recently separated.
Right. No more illusions of or like interpretations to be left to had. He's not just on some trip or something. Elliot comes home.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah, he's sick.
He's got a fever
missing.
of some sort.
And again, I love Mike's character here. He's like, you have to go find them, and Mike's not fucking around here. He gets on that bike and he's going out there and is gonna find their little buddy.
Yeah.
No more hesitations from Mike.
This is an awesome fucking like sequence too of him riding off with the suits following.
Yeah, the feds chasing him is such a great little chase sequence, and it's like a good setup to the final chase sequence, which are basically the two action set pieces of the movie, really.
Yep. Michael gets the bald spot, and he finds those sheets, and he finds like we said, E.T. passed out, looking really rough. You notice the raccoon in the creek next to him?
Yeah, so random.
It was so random. Very funny, though. Very cute.
Well, and I was wondering because that seems very intentional, right? Like, they put a raccoon there purposefully. So I'm wondering, is that saying that he had bonded with the raccoon psychically? Or is the raccoon just, like, curious what this thing is?
I think he's close to death, and raccoons are like scavengers. He's like, could I eat this?
Yeah.
And then you can hear a helicopter overhead at this point, too.
Yeah.
And then we get more jangling keys.
Yeah,
more silhouettes.
Yeah, he's like walking up on the house.
I want to say this podcast and taking notes on movies is what has cemented my ability to spell the word silhouette.
Nice. Hell yeah. That's a tough one. How many L's are in there? It's a lot.
One.
Just one. Just the one. Yeah.
SILHOUETTE.
Nice. E.T.'s in there
twice.
Wow. That's great.
ET's in there frontwards and then backwards.
I love that. I love that for us.
Do you think they were like looking at the word like
Silhouette, and they're like, we need to have
no,
this.
they were looking at the word ET and they were like, how do we make everything mysterious? ET.
Yeah,
Eat.
I'm sure that's why everyone's in silhouettes. Yeah.
Silhouette.
This is finally where they show Mom ET, and ET is looking really bad. If we haven't already
this
said
is
it.
also
He's just like pale white, crusty. It's a bad time. It's
Yes.
such a good depiction. It's like such a visually striking way to show what was like this really sweet, innocent creature dying. Just like he's turning into like a white husk, like almost like fossilizing.
he's like drying out.
Yeah, it's so disturbing.
It is very disturbing. And also Michael asks his mother to make the most excellent promise, just like Elliot, you know.
Yeah, and she's just like, get the fuck out of my way, and Mike does, basically. And I think Elliot also says here, I think we're dying. Like, we are dying. Which, again, is just, like, very striking.
And scary. Also, the fucking shot where she, like, goes to run out, and then the astronaut walks in. And it is...
So weird.
Yes, but, like, visually, it is, like...
Awesome.
If you think about it in the context of the story, it is, like, something out of this world coming into their home again, right?
Yeah. I was expecting the hazmat suits. That's what, like, I almost started writing the note, feds file in with hazmat suits, and then as soon as she opens the door, I'm like, oh no, those are just straight up astronaut. Like, it has the
Yeah.
NASA logo on there and everything. Like, weird choice, but okay.
Yeah, and then we have all this shot. We got this shot of all the scary dudes, like, slowly approaching in their helmets.
Well, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that moment in Alien where she's trying to escape from Ash and all the doors are closing on her
Yeah.
as she's trying to leave the room. This is them, like, they're trying to run to one exit,
Yeah.
and then there's a guy coming through there. They run into the kitchen. There's a guy coming through the window. Like, it's pretty good.
There's also, like, this wild thing with the suits. Like, if you look too closely at the suits that they're wearing, the hazmat things, like, they don't make sense. Like, and, like, the whole, like, the way that they're trying to prevent contamination, all, like, when you're, like, looking at it with that mind state, there's so many things where I'm like, doesn't look right. There's even, like, you can literally see, like, tubes going nowhere. Like, and they're just, like, breathing the air that's in the room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
I just feel like is it like they're like, let's blow all the money on the puppet, and, like, as far as, like, any sort of, like, realistic depiction of what a quarantine looks like,
Yeah.
let's buy a bunch of, like, huge, like, wrap
I do
to
kind of
put over the house.
actually really like the look of the shot coming up here where it's like all of them just like surrounding the house with the tube leading up to it, and the great shot
Yeah,
of
they
the
roll
guy,
out all the quarantine
the
shit
guy
too.
like walking through this tube up to it. The way the tube just plays into this
Yeah.
movie is
no,
awesome.
no,
yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. The reason it's a little frustrating is because I like it. So, like, I do like it.
Mhm.
And so when it's like, it feels a little half-assed. So, like,
Yeah.
at certain points, it's like,
I can.
But I do
see
love
that.
the tube. And the tube is great because I love the way it comes into play later on.
Exactly. And we, again, like, on the themes of, like, privacy and stuff and the government overreaching, there's this moment of where they're all coming into the house where Mary's like, this is my home. You know, like, they don't care. That means nothing.
No. But, hey, quarantine, probably the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Probably. If it wasn't a harmless psychically linked alien, you know, I guess.
Yeah, and I love this is some of my favorite stuff. This is kind of the end of them being so mysterious and creepy, and it's like a great way to set it up where they're marching against the red sunset, and it's just like a line of silhouettes of like the man coming like as the sun set. It's
Yeah,
really
it's a great
cool.
shot.
It looks really awesome.
Because after this, they become so humanized.
Yeah, well, so this is it's the scene of Jangly Key guy walking
Yeah.
up the tube, and then when he gets into the house, first time we see another adult's face.
reveal.
Yeah, and it's just a dude. And then after this, they just show all their faces, and this was really striking to me because I didn't remember that. I remembered like not being able to see everyone and thinking that was a really cool choice. And then the rest of the movie, I was like wondering, like, this decision is so interesting because, like I was saying, so much of it about it is kind of the unknowable man, right? And like we have this very empathetic, knowable alien here, and then this like creepy, dark force of the federal government kind of closing in on you, and then it's just like, no, they're just people.
Yeah, I think it's very Spielberg to be like, the faceless horror has a face, it has a wife, it has
Yeah.
bills to pay.
I like it a lot. I
The
mean,
faceless horror is doing a 9 to 5.
yeah, because they're also human too. Like they're also just like genuinely trying to
They
keep
got mustaches and
ET
glasses.
alive, and there's that great moment after ET like passes where they all like take their like
They're
they
all
pull
very
their
somber,
masks
yeah.
off, and it's just a bunch of people who are like, damn, like we just let like this amazing thing die, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and even Jangly Key Guys is saying to Elliot soon here, like I've been wishing for this since I was 10 years old. This is just someone who loves outer space and aliens, and he's always dreamed on like being able to be a part of that first encounter, and he wants to save ET.
And he says, "I'm glad he met you first."
Yeah.
Which is such like a sweet line, which
Yeah.
is immediately where I'm like, okay, like wow, this guy is like sympathetic. There's also like they're asking the family members all sorts of questions, and we hear Michael say, Elliot feels ET's feelings. I also love there's all these tests. We've got all of this technical medical talk. Elliot is obviously very upset, screaming, leave him alone. They think that maybe it could be sepsis that's happening to him. And they also discover that his DNA has 6 nucleotides, not 4. Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting line. Yeah, just again, they don't need to tell you much, but just like little pieces here and there that open up the the lore, the ET lore.
Also to kind of be like, what the fuck are you guys doing, right? Like, and so get a little bit of like, okay, they're like running tests, trying to like find some information, glean something about the alien creature they found.
Yeah, I think it's very sweet, and it's part of the humanization and necessary for the movie that they let the family hang around during all this. But I think there's no shot in reality that these guys let the family hang out during all this. Like, they're out of there.
I also, there's this part, Elliot says, that he wants ET, he wants ET to stay, and then ET says something, like he talks, and everyone is so impressed. He talks.
Yeah.
And again, an alien with the capability for interplanetary travel can talk. You're impressed by that. Like, of course it can fucking talk.
Well,
the fact that it's learned one English word, yeah, sure. Somewhat impressive, I guess.
I don't know. I think I'd be shocked. It could have all sorts of different types of communication.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But I mean, like, if a person from another country walked up to me and went, hello, and then I started talking to them and they didn't know any other words in English, I would be like, wow, you know how to say hello. That's so cool, dude.
I mean, it's a little different, but yeah.
I mean, dude, he spent like a week. Like, how long has he been with this kid,
Yeah, I think it's more just this is the first time people have ever heard another species talk.
It is impressive. It is impressive. But, still, it tracks for me. I would be standing in the room and I'd be looking like, yep, tracks.
What else can he do?
Now tell us what's wrong with you, fucking idiot.
Talk your way out of this one, dumb alien.
Yeah.
And
then this is the part where the link is like going away because ET is dying.
He's dying.
And Elliot is getting better.
Yeah, and I like this scene, again, just like unnecessary, but like interesting. They stick with Mike here as he climbs into the closet and he's kind of mourning what's happening and he just falls asleep there and
literally in the fetal position.
Yeah, and we wake up the next day and
he's in the fetal position in ET's like room, like in his spot. Like he's sleeping where ET like slept.
Which is
in the closet.
Interesting.
It is. It's very well, it's really beautiful. And I love the way that it feeds into the transition of the sun shining onto Michael and him waking up. And he sees the flowers are dying.
Yeah, good stuff. And then E.T. dies.
Yeah, he does.
You're killing him.
And that's the end of the movie. It's really depressing.
Yeah, it's a really bummer.
I'm gonna give it an E tier for E.T.
Yay! Thanks everyone. This whole we talked about a little bit, trying to revive him in terms of themes, the hubris of man. I noticed here of just like all of these people, like again, I think the unveiling of them from being this mysterious force with no faces to just people is a really good theme in terms of just look how much we try to control the universe and the situations and like the hubris that they could save this species they've never seen before and like their tools are powerless, right?
Yeah, what's so interesting as well is that they go to so much trouble to set up this whole quarantine. And then when he starts dying, they break down the sterile shield. They like rip everything down. They're like, all right, let's try to bring him back to life. And then they like just take everything off. Like you said, it's a great like movie scene,
Yeah.
right? Like we're like
Very
now like
unscientific, though,
see
yeah.
our faces and everything. Yeah, but it like but with like and also thinking in the context of the movie, the amount of work that they like put into closing off the whole house with the tube from the car, you know, like
Yeah.
trying to make this a sealed thing. It is effective storytelling though. Like you know,
Yeah.
being like taking off the mask and being like vulnerable, right?
Yeah, and it's like all of them. Yeah.
We also get a shot outside of the house where there's a crowd that's like mounting, which makes sense because you see like a house completely fucking plastic wrapped, you know, and it's like fucking what's going on over there, you know?
Yeah. And we have jangly keys like closing ET's eyes and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just very. It feels very final.
I do also love the guy who's like, okay, I'm calling it.
Yeah. 1536.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how reluctant they are to call it. And, you know, yeah, I think it's very unscientific, but I could see, like, a read of just, like, no, like, they've seen that the family has been breathing fine and they have no medical issues besides Elliot, who's, like, bound to him and stuff. And,
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know what, this is an important moment. I want to see this creature with my eyes, you know?
Yeah. What if it was like a fucking Dr. Manhattan situation where like, oh my God, sorry. Spoilers for Watchmen. What if it was like a Dr. Manhattan situation? They all get cancer like 20 years later.
Yeah, that's the thing is you would still be wondering, well, how does this psychic link work? Is it in the air? Is it controlling the other people in the family? Are we now part of the thing?
Yeah. There's also there's this like shot of Keyes watching the whole family be very upset by this as well.
Yeah, he's such an empathetic character, right? It's surprising. It's an interesting twist. It's very wholesome, like a little like I would say cheesy, but it's kind of just realistic, right? Where it's just like this is just the dude doing his job, and he happens to, you know, be a high government position.
Yeah, feels very Spielberg, where it's not cheesy, but it feels real, but it's a little cheesy. You know?
Yeah.
And then he gives him a moment alone with E.T., which is like a great character moment and works well for the narrative. You know?
And he has this line here where he says, "I love this. You must be dead because I don't know how to feel."
Yeah, dude, that's really fucking depressing.
I love that.
He says, I can't feel anything anymore. And then he says, E.T., I love you. And then I love how he closes it, but like I can see the chest glowing as he's closing it. And he's like closing it, turning away, you know, and then it is like sees that the flowers are better, right?
Yeah,
and
they
then
start
like
coming back to life.
E.T. phone home, E.T. phone home.
Yeah, kind of silly, but I like
I
it.
also love that E.T. won't shut the fuck up, and Elliot is like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, we need to pretend like you're dead, you know?
Yeah, and you know,
The shots of him pretending to be so sad are so much.
he's pretending to cry.
This is really
and
funny.
They're pulling him away.
Yeah.
They lock ET up. Elliot tells Mike, and again, Mike, I love Mike in this, where he's just like, all right, let's fucking take care of this.
I also love through these sequences, we keep seeing the flowers and they keep looking better and better
it's so
and better.
good.
Like really showing like
He takes them with him too somehow, right?
he does.
How does he do that? I don't know if that actually makes much sense. Because he's loaded up into the van, and unless the kids took it separately, I don't know when he had the chance to take them. But that's okay.
Yeah.
There might be something there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do love that we get this sort of like, okay, we gotta like help him. Then cut to Gertie saying, "Are the boys gone?"
Yeah, Gertie kind of blew their cover a little too quick here because she delivers their goodbye note before they've actually left.
It's so fucking funny, but I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this whole sequence of them stealing the car is super fun. The guy immediately spots that Mike is behind the wheel, and he's like, "Who the fuck are you? Wait, open the store." And then they just, you know, before they're ready to go, they just take off, and they have the tube hanging behind the car with the two guys in there. This sequence is just so fun. I mean, this is like the climax. This whole chase sequence is so fun.
There's such a good back and forth where it's like, where's the playground next to the preschool? Where's that? I don't know. Mom is always the one that drives me around.
And on the way there, he also tells his buddies to meet them at the park. And so they all start biking to meet them there. And then you got the mom going after them.
And then Keyes is like, where are you going? Like, where are you going? Come on.
Yeah.
And then Gert says to the spaceship, and then Keyes is like, oh, fuck, they're getting away.
Yeah, and I like that Keyes seems to kind of, at this point, be operating independently. He seems to get there while the rest of the feds don't get there. So it's almost like he knows what they're talking about because he mentions earlier that he had been out to the forest. He saw the device. So he's like, okay, I know where they're going then. And then he kind of leaves separately from the rest of the feds, and the rest of the feds get thrown off, but he is able to make it there.
They go to the playground. I also love there's a line too with when they meet all the kids at the playground. It's like we got to get them to the landing site for the spaceship, and Greg says, "Can't you just beam up?" And then Elliot says, "This is reality, Greg."
Yeah.
It's a great
It's
fucking
funny.
line.
Yeah, and just the whole sequence of Elliot slowly like taking the tube off as the guys are trying to climb up it. Like it just looks fun. Like I want that to be a ride or something, like trying to climb up a tube that's getting pulled, even though that'd be extremely dangerous. I don't know how you do it, but
It would be very dangerous.
it looks fun.
It was they're like sliding around, yeah. And there's the final moment right before he pulls the last pin.
Yeah, where he realizes, no, he throws him the pin.
But actually,
Which
okay,
is
no,
great.
I think, well, Mary at least does go to the playground because she says no guns. They're kids, and the dudes already have their guns. And
Yeah,
they're
but
like,
I think he went separately off elsewhere because he's like, I'm going to beat them to where their ultimate place is, and everyone else is just trying to get to the playground.
yeah, but I think later on at the very Keys and Mary show up at the same time.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just following her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Good
know.
question.
I thought they might even be in like the same car.
Yeah. Interesting.
New husband. Hello, new daddy.
Yeah, maybe he's such a cool guy. I mean, yeah, I can see it.
His name is Peter Coyote.
Yeah, I mean, which is a great name.
That's a good name.
Oh yeah, and when they get to the park too, the reveal to the other kids of E.T. is just such a great like. I love because at this point we've seen E.T. so many times. They don't need to give him this big heroic shot, but this is the first time he's been like back to life, you know.
Yeah.
And you just see him coming out of the smoke with the big glowing heart and his neck's extended and he's at his most E.T. It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
And yeah, it's wild that they have the guns out ready for blasting.
I know, it's insane. It's insane.
But I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't know. This is a crazy situation.
Yeah.
There's an alien on the loose.
Yeah, there's an alien on the loose.
Yeah,
and we
but
get this
the chase sequence,
awesome
the
fucking
the
yes.
music. I mean, best part of the movie probably.
Yeah. I think it's like my favorite like sequence for
Yeah,
sure.
it's so good.
I love them like they ride over the car. Also, the kids like they're like showing a lot of personality, right? Like the one kid has like the balaclava on, the other kid is wearing like the big headphones, and then the one kid's wearing like the newsboy cap and like the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like they're all like very visually distinct too.
And it's just so fun to see, the power of the federal government being utilized against these teenagers ineffectively, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like they're trying to box them in by using all the like the different street cutoff points, right? But they're just like cutting in behind houses and going off-roading.
But then they do finally get them.
Yeah, they finally box them in. Well, they're stuck on a main street, and so they blockade it, and they're catching up on. Yeah, well, there's that moment where like, I think we lost them, and then they almost get grabbed immediately.
Yeah.
They're like just running after them.
Which is really funny.
Yeah.
It's really, really funny.
Yeah, and then they pull in
And they're
in
all
front
flying,
of them,
dude.
and then they all just take off.
And all the agents are like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, they're just like, okay, well,
The shots of them flying around are all so beautiful as
Yeah.
well. I love, there's also different reactions from the different kids. Like some of them are doing a really good job of like showing this wonder and like, wow. And then they cut to Greg and he's like, ooh, like he's doing like a slapstick like reaction.
He's like, tell me when it's over. He's closing his eyes and stuff.
No, for sure. He does that later on, but there's just like one round of shots of them where he's like, ooh, like with a very broad like performance.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy. I love them riding across the setting sun. Again, that's like, it's mirroring the moon shot. Really beautiful. And I love, I did notice that like right before they land, there's one more of like going between each of their faces and the reactions. And I love, all the wonder, the excitement. And then I love that it cuts to Elliot. Like to me, this is his real like coming of age arc complete, I guess, where it cuts to his face and he's all business. Like he's focused, he's ready to land, he's ready to get
single-minded, one might say.
Yeah, everyone else is just like, whoa, we're flying. And he's just like, no, I'm on a mission.
I've already flown.
Yeah, no big deal.
This is my second time flying. I can whatever.
Yeah. And then the ship arrives.
Yeah, everyone looks on amazed.
And then the mom arrives.
With Keys.
Yep. And
After they were.
yeah, they're smooching. And they say their goodbyes. E.T. invites Elliot to come with him, which is really interesting. Like, I wonder how that would have gone down if Elliot was just like, okay.
There's also this line when Gertie is saying bye where So she says he doesn't know goodbye, and then he says, "Be good."
Yeah.
And she kisses him on his nose.
Yeah, it's pretty
We
cute.
see Michael like kind of like pets him on his head, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, and ET has the flower pot, like he's holding it
Yeah.
this whole time.
I don't think that necessarily makes sense, but it's
Whatever.
necessary.
Yeah, I like when I saw him put it down, I was like, oh, he's gonna leave it, and then no, he does take it on the ship ultimately.
Yeah, that was his
I'm
mission.
tracking that pot, dude. Not a pot that's gonna get past me, brother.
Yeah, and you got the, again, like, classic, but a little cheesy. He's like, I'll be right here. And he like points at his heart, I think.
There's the whole, come, stay, ouch.
Yeah, and he's leaving. I love that Harvey runs up the ramp like he's gonna go with them, and then he runs back down. That's a cute little moment. And okay, I think I've even mentioned this on the podcast before, but there's a great YouTube clip of, if you just strip out John Williams' score here, just like how weirdly quiet and like long and awkward the scene is of him just like, hugging and then just like slowly walking up the ramp. And like, yeah, it's a testament to just how good John Williams' score is.
Yeah,
where it's
you
like,
need
it's carrying this entire scene basically, just
Yeah.
the emotions of it. And I love the final shot of E.T. It's a great it's a great set design moment, but also just like so beautifully visualized, where you have the ramp pulls up in front of the entrance to the ship, so it's already through like a graded view.
Yeah.
And then you have this kind of like door that like closes,
like an aperture.
Yeah, and
around the glowing heart.
Yeah, the last you see is the glowing heart of E.T. And I just like, ooh, perfect. Yeah, and then the ship leaves. It makes a beautiful rainbow behind it, and they're all just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then it fades out on Elliot, and the last thing I noticed is just like this beautiful piano in the credits. I wasn't sure what that was, but I loved
there's
it.
like another music change up at the
Yeah.
end, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because like opening credits have their own sort of music, and then like at the end, like the music is like so swelling, and then we finally like get the credits, and again a completely different, like not completely different, but like a slightly different vibe with the score there.
Great movie.
Yeah, he phoned home.
He sure did. Yeah, for rankings,
Yeah, what do you think?
I think this is a solid B for me. I could see it being higher. It's so classic. Like you said, there's so many iconic shots. It's so full of wonder. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't like blown away by it. I just like a lot of aspects of it that I really, really like. I think the atmospheric like vibe, tone choices is like some of my favorite stuff. And of course the score.
For sure. It is like such an iconic kids movie, and it is such like a part of like pop culture. I feel like this one is like one of the few that we like, because I mean we did Star Wars, we did Dune. I think E.T. is like one of the only really other movies that kind of like reaches those like, or like attempts to reach those heights of like cultural impact amongst the other films we've seen. Yeah, just growing up, like it's just like E.T. was this like major sort of like this landmark moment.
Right.
I would say I will give it, again, operating with a lot of the technical elements in mind. I am stuck between A and B. As the king of context, I think I gotta go with A, just thinking about the cultural impact.
Yeah.
And like the moment when it came out. Like, I would love to talk to someone who saw this as a kid in the theater. Like that would be a really awesome perspective to have. I think, I think definitely like would make sense to me that like some people consider this like an S tier film. And I would be very, very interested to hear people's arguments as to like sort of like maybe some of the things I'm not really noticing, or I'm like sort of dismissing as like tropey or played out, but like someone could point out, well, like actually no, this is like one of the first occurrences of it, or like actually they're doing this, they're subverting it like that. But yeah, I think on this view, thinking about it in the context of films of the alien variety and everything, yeah, I'll give it an A.
Yeah, I could see
A for Alien.
I could see the S tier angle being something like you saw this as a kid and it just made such a strong impression on your sense of wonder of the universe for the rest of your life that it's just like nothing else has captured that tone of wonder for you in the same way. Like I could see it.
I could also
doing
see
that.
like an S tier argument coming from someone who has a little bit more background in like script writing and like story analysis as well. Like,
yeah, I mean it's pretty flawless besides our little like, maybe some continuity stuff, maybe some questions around ET's intelligence, but all of that is so playful. It's like
when you're having a film that's like where the primary like roles are children as well, like that's rough. And I think the three kids, like I love Gertie, Elliot, and Michael, like
yeah.
I'm not like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. I'm like fucking done with you. Like I'm annoyed with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that speaks volumes about their ability to like deliver in this movie.
Yeah, like I said, Elliot was a little screechy for me sometimes. But,
yeah, for sure.
But overall, yeah, still enjoyed his
It's like
performance.
the beginning and the end are the parts where I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah,
like,
when he's just like sitting next to them.
leave him alone.
You're killing him. I mean, that's at least justified. But earlier on, when he's just screaming, and
It's
stuff
justified, but
yeah.
it's also like interesting. Like he's also dying, but he's like got so much energy to freak out.
Yeah.
But
the link is also weakening at that point, so
it is, yes.
maybe feeling a little better. But
Yeah.
E.T. fine
The
movie.
Extra-Terrestrial.
Great. In terms of the themes of like humanity as a collective, it also has just like an interesting way of like, how does humanity respond to first contact? I think is a trope that has been fun to kind of see throughout these movies so far, and will be very fun for next week's episode, which is Arrival.
Arrival.
What is it, 2016 or something? I forget the exact year.
Arrival. With musical guest Arrival.
I will say right now, probably one of my all-time favorite movies.
2016 indeed.
Yeah, this is probably in my top 10. Arrival. I fucking love this movie, so I'm very excited to talk about it. And we'll have a guest on for this one.
This is one of my favorite movie-going experiences that I've had. I think it's up there, like one of my top 10 like theater moments for me. I loved watching it. I watched it with my dad. My dad is a linguist. I was very heavily involved in studying like cognitive psychology and linguistics when I was in my undergrad. So like this movie was like so up my alley.
Yeah.
I also love, spoiler alert, time shit. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to talk about this.
And
I'm
we're
very
both
excited
big
for
Villeneuve fans, as we
very
talked about in our
excited.
Dune episode.
For sure. Yeah. Love Villeneuve.
And I think it's Hans Zimmer composing.
Check out Incendies, bro. Incendies, really good movie.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend. Have you seen Enemy?
No, we've
Prisoners?
talked about this. No, I've only seen more of his modern sci-fi stuff, really. Oh, and Cesario. I think I've seen Cesario, then basically
Sicario?
all the Sicario, and then all his sci-fi stuff.
And by that you mean like Arrival and Dune and Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah, he's a great filmmaker. One of my favorite current directors. But yeah, it should be a fun episode. And as Connor said, we're gonna have a guest on there. Thank you all so very much for listening. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, show your friends, your teachers, your family, and find us on social media. We are Cinema Forecast. That's FOURCAST. Thank you so much. And remember, tell your friends you love them. Look at them in their face and say, and point to your heart and go, ouch. And then point at them and go, E.T. phone home. And then caress their face and say, E.T. I love you.
Yeah. That's some good advice for this, guys. And we'll see you in the forecast.